Hey everybody, I guess my camera was a little icky. Hi, Nettie Owens here. I'm so excited to be live with you today. Let me type what we're talking about. What were we talking about? We are talking about you don't have not enough time and not enough money. Okay, awesome. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, and I'm just going to give everybody a couple minutes here to find what we're doing. I'm going to pull this up on my phone so I can see when people join. That way I can say hello to you properly instead of, just seeing that somebody's watching. Hey, okay, so still looking for it, There we go. There's the live. Okay. I'll put that right there. Hey, okay. So here's the thing, and I'm just going to do this whether we have people in here or not. You're about to get just fire hosed on, which is why I put the post out that I did today. So let me start with who I am, why you even want to be here. My name is Nettie Owens, and my business is Sapari Solutions. And for a little while now, I've been working on a project called Momentum Accountability. It is an opportunity to take what you're doing and grow it, even if you don't have enough time, even if you don't feel like you have enough money, if you feel like you're not being supported in other ways. Momentum accountability is how you get that support. So I've been working on this little project for a little while now, and it really focuses on supporting entrepreneurs and corporations. For years and years and years, I've done professional organizing in the residential realm, and I focused at that time on working with people who have challenges like ADHD and depression, anxiety, PTSD. There might have been hoarding going on, and what I found was that entrepreneurs are in the same boat, only we don't have the same kinds of resources available to us. And so I wanted to turn my attention there. I spent years developing that business, growing it to the point where I had other organizers that I had trained, and they were going out into the field and they were working with this population. And then finally I looked and went, oh my gosh, there are people like myself, there are other entrepreneurs who need support. And so that's when Momentum Accountability came to be. But why I'm here today is this. There are so many folks who have come to me recently saying, well, first of all, I don't quite understand how your program works, so I wanted to talk about that. But they also were saying things like, I would love to do this, but right now I already invested in a program and I don't have any money left. Or I would love to do this, but I just don't have enough time and I don't know how I would fit it into my schedule. The whole point of Momentum Accountability is to address those two issues. You don't have enough money and you don't have enough time, and what kinds of solutions are out there to support you, because there's a gap, right? You can't wait until you've built up enough money in order to hire a phenomenal business strategist and coach, because when you need a business strategist and coach is when you're stuck in this spot of, I don't have enough time and I don't have enough money and I'm not sure what step to take next. If you're always waiting until you get enough to hire that person, then you're wasting your time and money. There are some folks who started out at the gates and they got a business loan and they invested in, getting that support, and they probably grew their business very quickly because they shortened the amount of time. They didn't have to make all of the mistakes that you and I, right, have made over time. But you may have invested in that person already. Maybe you already hired an amazing business coach, but somehow you were left going, that was awesome, and here's my bag of bills that I still need to pay, and I didn't get the results that I was thinking I would get, or it went in a different direction than I expected it to go, or I never had enough time to implement all that I was learning. So that's what this program is all about. That's what this program is for. It's to fill in the gap. It's so that you can create that momentum so that you can get yourself going and move to the next level and get additional support that you may need, whether that's here or somewhere else. So I want to talk to you today specifically about what to do when you need that help and you don't have enough time, and you need that help and you don't have enough money. I have had several conversations over the last few days about just this topic. And if you see me looking, I have my notes, always working from my notes. So that's why you might see me look down. So first of all, I just love it if you could say hello, say your name and where you're coming from and what you're currently working on. Okay, just share that with our group here today. Thanks. Hi, Jennifer. Oh my gosh, I love when you're here. It's so good to see you. Okay, so there's a few scenarios that we're talking about. You're just starting your business, you've done something else in the past, and now you need to grow it quickly because you have bills and you don't want to spend years in the I'm not making any money stage, right? So that's a scenario. Hi, Jennifer. Happy Friday. Okay, so another scenario is you've been in business for a while, you've invested in coaching, you've got the bills from that, and maybe not the results that you were looking for, and now you need to close that gap. You need to get the clients and keep growing. So that might be another one. Or you're so busy with everything and you know you want to move forward, but there's just not really enough time. So those may be some of the scenarios that you're looking at. Okay, so or last scenario, sorry, I forgot one. You want to launch something new, right? And you're not quite sure how to do it or how to get it out of the blocks, or you don't have the money to bootstrap that new thing because maybe you're not quite making bills, ends meet at the moment, right? So here's the thing. Like I said, I've been having this conversation a lot recently, and I wanted to just address it across the board. So what I would like you to do, if you're watching this, I'm absolutely going to share a ton of information with you today. I want you to get a journal. I want you to get a piece of paper. I want you to get your calendar. I want you to get something to write down some notes and gather that information so that you can use this as your game plan to move forward. All right. My whole intention today is to give you the tools that you need in order to move forward. So please go grab some paper, grab a pencil, and you may not have realized that's what you were going to get today. So you might not have been prepared for that. If you cannot stay for the whole time, this is Facebook Live, which means that it's going to be sitting here on Facebook ready for you to watch and come back to at another point if you need to do that. But if you can stay, then I want you to grab those materials and get ready for what we're going to do today. So here's the conversation. You know, you've got this need, whether you want coaching, whether you want to grow a new product, whether you're just not making ends meet right now. So you need money right now, and you don't have time to wait to build something up. Or, you know, you are trying to build something up, but you need the money to bootstrap that. So you really need it right away. So often people overlook the fact that they're sitting on a gold mine and they don't even realize it. And it's where you need to start. So instead of looking out here, like, oh, I'm going to start this new program, and when it gets up and going, it's going to be absolutely amazing. Look, I get it. I've done that myself. I know what it feels like. In fact, I was just recently doing it to myself in November. I have it right here, actually. It's not very far from me. Okay, so my little note, which is hanging right here on my bulletin board, which means I haven't taken it down just yet, says that the value for me creating this new product line is going to be almost $200,000 a year. I mean, that's a good amount of money for me. I would be happy to be receiving $200,000 a year from this one product line. And so I was keeping this in front of me to remind myself, okay, if I get this done, the end goal when it's up and running is this amount of money. So that was my reminder. I needed 50 to 100 people in one part of the program. I needed 20 people into the next part of the program. I needed 5 people in the next part of the program and 3 people in the final part of the program in order to earn that income that I was looking for. So when I put notes up like this for myself, I use that as a reminder to say, okay, every day, what do I need to do to get my one next person? Only in order to develop this, I was having to develop each step of the program, and it wasn't there yet. So this was going to be future money, and I still intend it to be future money. But if you need money right now, future money is not going to help you very much. So you want to be planting those seeds and you want to be building that. But at the moment when you don't have the time and energy and money to pay the bills right now, that's going to have to wait. And it's wonderful, but growth sucks time and money. Growth sucks time and money. If you are wanting to grow your business, you need to have a reserve of time and money before you do that. So it's really, really important to remember that. But it's okay because you're already sitting on all the money you need right at this moment. And I know it doesn't feel like that. I know right now it feels like, what the heck are you talking about? I don't have enough money. I don't have the money to pay the bills that I've got right now. And how can you tell me I'm sitting on a gold mine of money when it doesn't feel that way? You're not alone. You don't exist in a vacuum. And really what you need right now is to focus your attention on the things that provide fast cash. And what provides fast cash are the connections that you already have. You may already have, if this is not your first moment in business, you may already have customers. You may already have a client list or a networking list. If you have just moved into this particular industry and you're starting your business from scratch, you didn't come from the woods in nowhere. You have a list of friends and family and colleagues and coworkers and other professionals that know you in your past role that you can connect with. You have your hairdresser and you have your the restaurant that you like to eat at down the street where you know the owner because you go there all the time. You have a community. And I think so often we forget that we already have a community. Not only that, that's gold mine number one, okay, is the fact that you already have a community. I'm going to make a note here of that so that you put that up on the screen. You already and you need to tap into it. But this is not the time to reach out to your community and say, hey, community, I'm starting this new project. Would you like to buy my thing? Because your community doesn't want to be spewed on that way. Your community wants to be loved on. And there are ways that you can do that so that you're still connecting with people, but you're also building up your cash reserves. Okay, so number one is you already have a community. Number two is you already have skills. You already have a skill set you can use. I was talking to someone the other day, and I'm not gonna disclose names or anything, but she was saying, I feel badly because there's no money in my business, and I took on a part-time job which funded my business up to a point, but that wasn't really my business's money. Are you kidding? Oh my gosh. That is your business's money. You just gave your business a loan by taking a part-time job and infusing money into your business. Now, I'm not saying that's necessarily the best idea because a part-time job means that you have time away from building your business, and so you have choices. You could get a loan with a bank, which is not time intensive, and immediately there's cash, or you could but you increase your debt, right? Or you could take a job where you're getting a paycheck and that infuses cash into your business. But that's the debt that you're repaying is time. So you do have choices there. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing shameful about doing that. If you already have a client list, I want you to think about how can you love on that client list so much, just really pouring your heart into that client list. Now, I'm not saying pour 40 hours a week of time into that client list, but what are the things that you can do? What are the things that your clients love and appreciate the most that you can do to show love and attention to your existing client list? So that they even just add, hey, Allie B, I'm so glad you joined me. And this is for you, Allie B. This message is for you. So if you're just jumping on here, and I want you to go back and watch the beginning later, but we can jump in here. Okay, so you need money now. You need to love on to your existing client list. How can they book one more hour, buy one more product? What's one more thing that they could be doing with you? All you need to do is show them some time and attention and then ask. So often we don't ask and let them know, I can see, and this is not to be sleazy. I do not warning, danger, do not sell them something they don't need. However, you know your clients, you know what they need. What could you offer them that you already have that they need that would help progress them in whatever goals they're trying to reach, that would solve a problem? Don't go looking for people right now. You want to start with who you have. Start with that list. Start with the people that you're already talking to. You can even ask them and say, what else do you need? What would be most helpful to you right now? If you've already got people who are paying for hours, how can you add just one more hour? One more hour. If you added, this is such a low ball scenario, but let me just paint a picture for you here. Let's say your billable rate is $35 an hour. Like I said, this is not a high ticket item. Okay. Say your billable rate is $35 an hour and you, you have 10 clients that are with you right now. What could you do to ask each of those 10 clients to buy one more hour from you? One more hour. That's $350 a month. What bill would that pay for you? Would that help in some way if each of those clients just purchased one more hour from you? $350. If we're looking at the program that I'm offering, $350 would pay for the program, the retreat that's coming up in a couple weeks, and part of your travel to get there. Let me think. All of your travel to get there, depending on where you're coming from, okay? So one more hour per month from each of 10 clients if you only bill $35 an hour. But my guess is you probably bill a little bit more than that. Allie B, what could you offer 10 clients for $100 to give yourself $1,000 cash infusion right now without starting something new, without creating, social media campaigns and broadcasts and all of those other things? What could you do right now? Jennifer McGinley, what could you do right now to reach 10 people and ask them for $100 to give yourself $1,000 cash infusion to help you right now, today, in January, what is it, the 11th, January 11th, what's going to help you right now? What can you do? It doesn't have to be complicated, but so often we forget what we already have. You don't have to come up with an amazing marketing campaign. Just reach out individually to 10 people and say, hey, I've got this thing. It costs X amount of money. I think it's going to solve this particular problem for you, and it would be a great benefit. Do you want to add that on to the package that you already have? Okay, what can we do to make that happen? We often so greatly overcomplicate things. We'll say, oh my gosh, but $1,000, that's not going to pay all my bills. That won't pay off my debt. That's not going to pay for everything. 10 hours at $35 an hour, that's not going to pay what I need. Yes, but it gets the ball rolling. It's momentum. That's what we're talking about. You don't need something super complicated. You need to leverage the resources that you already have. Okay, so I talked about resource number one is your community. You have a community. There are people that you're connected with on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, through your email that you talk to every day. What can we do? How can we reach out to them and ask a really simple question? Who do you know who needs professional branding photographs? Who do you know who needs PR and media for their business? Who do you know who needs wellness coaching? Who do you know who needs, I don't know, what do you offer? Social media marketing. Who do you know who needs blogging help? If you're always thinking about reaching out and touching and connecting with people, I want to challenge you today. I told you to take notes. I want to challenge you today. I want you to reach out to 10 people every day for the next 14 days. I want you to reach out to them in Messenger, text message, email, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you can do that. All I want you to do is connect with them and say, hi, I know it's been a little while. I just wanted to reach out and reconnect. What are you doing and where can I help you? That's it. 10 people every single day. See what they're doing, find out, see where you can reach a need that they already had. Great, let me connect you to this person. Awesome, that's a program that I offer. Would you like to sign up? I'd love to talk to you about it. It doesn't have to be more complicated than that. You have a treasure trove of people you're already connected to. If you don't use your Facebook account for business, change that right now. You can share what you want to share, but you can connect with your clients and potential clients on Facebook. If you are not using LinkedIn, stop hesitating and get onto LinkedIn. It will take you 5 minutes today to start using LinkedIn, and it's free. If you're not on Instagram and or you're not using it very much, start using Instagram Messenger. Connect one-on-one with people. I don't want a broad post. I want you to actually reach out and touch and connect with people. That's number one. Number two is you have this skill set already. It's not a matter of creating something new. Look at the skills that you already have, that you're already selling to people, and simply sell one more. It doesn't have to be a huge, big package, because that will come once you feel comfortable and you're stable. There's ways to come up with money. You can either reduce your expenses, or you can bring more money in, or you can do both. And I would recommend doing both. I mean, if there's something that's on your books right now that you're paying for that's not really giving you value, then it's time to let that go, even if you just pause it for a short amount of time. And who can you reach out to? So a good question to ask yourself around these money things is, how much do you need? How much money do you need? Look at what money is coming in, and look at what money you need to cover expenses, and imagine that those expenses are 50% of what you need. Okay, so for instance, if your expenses to operate your business on a monthly basis are $2,000, you need $4,000. It's a really simple calculation. Do not make it more complicated than that. We can go into the financial details later about how much you need for tax and how much you need for income and how much you need for your personal pay. If you've read Profit First, great, and that's a great place to start. But a really good rule of thumb is that you want your expenses to be no more than 50% of the income that you're bringing in. So what are your expenses right now? And double that, and that's how much we're aiming for. Okay, now of the existing products and services that you offer, not creating anything new, but what you currently offer, how many of those things do you need to sell in order to meet your basic, let's go with that $4,000 a month number. Do you need to sell 2 photo days? Do you need to sell 1 PR package? What do you need to sell? How much of that do you need to sell right now today? If you start reaching out to 10 people every day, you're going to find one. It often doesn't take a tremendous network of people. It doesn't take, creating something new. It takes being consistent and using the tools and resources that you already have instead of reinventing the wheel. So I want to ask you today, what is an easy first step that you can take? Well, actually, give me a show of hands. Who is willing to reach out and connect with 10 people every day, 10 new people every single day, and have new conversations every single day? Who's willing to do that? Can you give me like a thumbs up or a little heart or something to say, yes, I'm willing to commit? Okay, so who's willing to commit? You cannot tell me that you're too busy for this. You cannot tell me that you don't have the resources to do this, because all of the resources that I've told you about so far are free. And MailChimp is free. Gmail's free. Facebook's free. Instagram's free. LinkedIn is free. So you have the resources that you need to reach out and connect with people. And you don't need anything more than that at this point. If you're watching this, you have everything you need. So you can't tell me you don't have that. You can't tell me you don't have a big enough network, because I want you to just start talking to people. And if your network isn't very big right now, ask to be introduced to people. And if it's not very big right now, join in any of the millions of free groups that are out there. It doesn't have to be more complicated than that. So often we say, you know what, I need so much. My big goal is to take over the world and it's going to be amazing. I'm going to be a millionaire. Yes, absolutely you are. However, you have to start here. And if you make the goal so big that it seems impossible, you'll give yourself a free check not to work on it today. I don't want you to have that excuse anymore. You're committing today to reaching out to 10 people every single day for the next 2 weeks. I want you to say yes, that you're willing to do that. After that, so you start reaching out, you start figuring out what your number is, how much you need, how much you're going for, and that's what you're focusing on. You're not focusing on selling 5 or however many you need to reach that income level. You're focusing on connecting and selling 1, and that's it. And then once you have that sale, you're making the next connection and you're selling the next 1. This is the kind of accountability and support you need. You need somebody to tell you, okay, take the next step. Don't do all of that. Focus on this one thing. And that is absolutely what Momentum Accountability Services provide. Momentum Accountability Lite, you get a check-in like this on a weekly basis. Whenever you have trouble or you're stuck or you're overwhelmed, we're going to coach you down through to the next smallest step that you can take to move you forward so that you're always moving forward. I don't want you to get to a point where you're stuck in the mud. And the reason why I do a 2-day intensive launch program is because it's important to envision where you're going. And in that process, we walk it all the way back to the beginning to figure out your next step. And then you connect with the people who can make you get there, and we implement. So before you even leave, you've implemented part of the process that's going to get you to that bigger vision down the road. It's so important to take this time out. That's why all of these things are important in the process, and that's why they're all included in the Momentum Accountability Lite program. So I would love for you to check that out. And I want you to think too, what's it going to take? Are you going to keep doing this on your own and trying to apply the knowledge that you got at that other coaching program, which was great and it was good information, but it was just too overwhelming? Are you going to keep waiting until you have the money to invest in something that's going to get you the money? You need somebody to break down these steps, and that's what we do in Momentum Accountability. So if that sounds really awesome to you and you're tired of waiting and you're tired of trying all the other things, you know, I was thinking as I was preparing for this particular presentation that what we need is a track for people who need to make that first payment. Like, if that's where you're stuck, if making the payments to investing in a program like this is where you're stuck, then we're going to have a group of folks whose sole purpose is getting that first payment and getting that down. And then we can move into the other big growth stuff. But when you're stuck in this money cycle, you have to fix it first. You have to get to this point where it's not an issue anymore, or you're like stuck. You're stuck about what you're thinking about. You're just trapped in the worry and the fear of paying your bills and where it's going to come from next. So if that sounds like a good plan for you, if you would like to be in a program that's going to help you first pay the bills and pay for the program and then move into the other big stuff, then let me know and I will absolutely create that for you. We will have a focus group and all we do is hammer it out. All we do is make those connections every day, and we leverage the resources that we have until we get you to a solid footing, and then you can take off. But you can't take off when your ground is shaky, and that's where you are right now. So to start with, all we're doing right now is 10 reach outs a day. And then we're looking at how much we need, and we're doubling that. So that's how much we're going to be bringing into our business. And then we're looking at exactly what we can offer that we already have that does not need to be created in order to get us to that solid footing. And you're going to do that by working together in this group through a Momentum Accountability. So if you have any questions, I hope you took a bunch of notes. I hope you said, oh, okay, this is it. This is my plan. You can share them in here. I'm so glad to hear, Allie, that that was already on your schedule. And I hope it's on your schedule for tomorrow too. You can take Sunday off and then do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. There's no excuse at this point. Your highest priority is to get on solid ground using the tools that you have so that you can take the next step. If you have any questions, I would love if you were to post them here. So I'm just going to put it here, any questions, and I'll be happy to answer them. I've been hearing challenges like, okay, but my time management is a mess. Great, bring it here. Let's chew on it together and sort it out. Okay, I've got time management down, but my space is so disorganized. I can't find what I'm trying to work on. Fantastic. That's awesome. I'm so excited. Bring it here. We'll work on it together and we'll get you sorted out so that you're organized, so that you're managing your time well, so that you're productive, so that you're producing money, and then you can go out and rock it. I mean, my mission in life is to make sure that all of those obstacles that I just mentioned to you are not an issue for you and that you can go out and do the things that you're amazing at. I'm amazing at making connections, at simplifying it down to the most basic steps, at clearing the blocks. That's what I'm great at. I know that, especially the people who are sitting here watching today, you have other gifts, but we've got to clear the stuff out of the way so we can focus on the gifts that you have. I'm going to put in here, if you just go to Momentum Accountability, it will take you to all of the options, and momentumaccountability.com. So I'm going to put that link in here. Right now, the program is opened. There are 30 seats total available. We have 10 of them filled. If you're not one of them, I would highly recommend that you take advantage quickly, because right now those 30 seats are available for only $127 a month. We were talking about the money. What would it take for you to pay $127 a month? How many clients do you need to make that doable? How many clients do you need to make sure that you come to the retreat, which makes your monthly payment $170 a month? It's not that much, but if you're focused on such big picture items that you're forgetting, like, oh, but what about just the little day-to-day stuff? Then it is going to seem overwhelming to add one more bill. But I want you to think, if I add this bill, I need this client, and that's where your focus goes. It goes into, what is my next step in order to make sure that this is covered? You could have a list, like, my client here, client A, she covers my phone bill, and client B, she covers my coaching, and client C, she covers the electricity in my office. Like, know what each thing is going towards, so that when that money comes in, you can thankfully say, oh my gosh, thank you so much for allowing me to do what I do and make sure that my expenses are covered. And client D, she's my income. She pays for all the cool, juicy stuff. So Allie says, I'm also going to do a camera-ready video live workshop. People keep asking me for advice and I keep giving it away for free. I just gave a ton of advice away for free, which is fine. And I see you're okay with that too. It is time to monetize that knowledge and brilliance. Simple, easy, no modules, just put it out there. I know others who have said, look, I've got a class, it's available, it's $19, jump in, and then you sign people up for it. But Allie, I would challenge you even here. If people are asking for a camera-ready course, who could you work on even one-on-one and say, look, I'll work with you one-on-one. Give, $97 or $997. I'm going to work with you one-on-one and get you camera ready. That don't worry about doing all the stuff right now. Just find that one person and make that exchange to cover the bills that you have right now. Does that make sense? It doesn't have to be, when we lower the price so that we've got 100 people coming, then our focus becomes, oh my gosh, how can I make sure 100 people or 500 people show up to my live thing so I can sell 100 and earn, $47 per person. And then I have $4,700, which is great. But all my energy went to putting butts in seats. And right now I need to pay a bill. So why not put the energy into connecting with people and serving them just right where they are and making that sale. And even though this is $100, yes, we're going to $4,700. Even though this is $100, it's taking us to that step. It's giving us that solid footing. Does that make sense? All right, any other questions? And I'm going to sign off for today. It is time to step it up, absolutely. So what is the next step to do that? And how can you be supported all the way around in making that happen? And not just, not just putting material out there, but putting material out there. If you serve somebody one-on-one, that can become your module that you then sell to the next 5 people. It doesn't have to be more complicated than that. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this absolutely served you where you are. And please do post your questions below, and then I will answer them as they come up. Bye.